Real Music exclusive.
I grew up like a savage.
Since then, like I'm the nigga, we gotta drop off packages. While you driving, I'm finna go in the back and sort these bitches in numerical order so we could just run to it.
Right.
Nigga, when we get out the truck, I'm finna hop out. I'm finna run, throw them bitches, get back. I'm gonna talk to people. Like it was always that same energy. I'm gonna figure out a way to do this shit 10 times better.
Yeah, that's I feel like people like that. I always find them having the same result that you have, like as far as like excelling in something else, because it's like I can't sit on my time and not be productive.
Right.
You know what I mean? Did your pops sell CDs, or was he the CD
Yep,
man?
he did.
He did?
Yep, he did. He sold everything.
He sold everything
except drugs, nigga.
Wow.
Everything, that was his one thing, nigga. He ain't gonna sell dope, but the nigga sold everything else.
You know, and from the people that I know that was in that same field, selling CDs, any of that, like a lot of those people are DJs. A lot of those people are early what Apple or all of these platforms call now playlists or playlisters. They were doing that already a long time ago. This is how we got introduced to a lot of music. So you rapping at the time Pops had CDs. Are you kind of like, because I feel like it's not just a overnight thing, right? I feel like if you pay attention, it can lead up to where you are now. Like you said, like instead of acting oblivious to what you really see, right? Like the Matrix. Like, do you want to know or do you not want to know, right? And so, did you see Pops hustling different things and selling CDs and not being illegal? Does that affect the way you do business now?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
All of it. Hey, it's funny because we be talking about this shit, and I just realized how much I was gaining from that experience when he'd take me on runs. Like, I learned how to communicate. I got to see him speak to people, have different clientele, and everybody walk away happy. I got to see him give because, I give you a couple. Cause
right.
Like, I literally got to witness him build a business. I got to witness him going from, 3-4 clients to this nigga's coming to the house. This is funny. We spending this much time. He the only nigga who got a pass to go through here. Like, I witnessed all that. And even to the point, bro, which is where I get it from. Like, I've seen him do it at the highest level. Like, it's different from a nigga going, on the CD level, you had the niggas who was in Walmart parking lot. Then you had the niggas who pull up to the park. And then you had the niggas who, had certain clients. My pops didn't have to be none of those niggas no more because he was like,
the guy.
It's him. And then after him is the nigga who only he can go to and get, you feel me?
Right.
So it was really just a different experience, bro. I got to see niggas hustle at the highest level in a format that's untraditional. Like, literally, we used to go to Walmart and this nigga's in the parking lot trying to get their shit off, and it's like, damn, my pops do that, but he don't do that.
He don't do that.
You feel me?
Right.
It just, I got to just see hustle and I got to see niggas he employed live change, and I never used to understand it. Like, them niggas done bought houses and cars off that shit, and I never understood, like, and my pops had his period of splurging too, but I never, it was like my pops wasn't into that, at that level. So it was like, damn, these niggas got, this is that. But we always had whatever we needed to during that time. So it was interesting, but I really got to see him hustle at the highest level.
Yeah, that's super dope. And it almost like, being the guy that dad is the man in the game too. It's like my pops wasn't on the corner. I saw him. So it creates a boss mentality. Like, I have to be a boss,
Definitely.
what I'm saying? I have to. And what I noticed that I love about your the way you deal with community is the same thing. Something you said about your dad is you meet people where they are. You know what I mean? Like, it's like you might not have it, or you might not have my level or my capacity, my thinking capacity, but I'll share it with you.
Right.
I'll make myself available for you. I think that's super dope. Because
it builds a different relationship. The nigga, like, I'm not going to turn a nigga away for being $1 short.
Right.
Because one day that nigga might be 100 up.
Yeah.
And I'm not even turning him, I'm not turning him away because I think he'll be up one day, but I'm just doing it because it's like, nigga, I've been $1 short.
Right.
It's like, bro, it's good. You feel me? Like, you don't want things to become a habit or consistent, but it's like, bro, I got you on this one because I know that you gonna support me in exchange, and even if you
Absolutely.
don't, it's just like I've been in that position. You feel me?
And
So
it's not a good feeling, you know. So
it's not a good feeling,
you want to help
especially when
out.
it's some shit you really want, nigga, because it encourages different behavior when you can't get it. Like, nigga, I remember hey, it's so funny because it just breeds a different behavior when like you a little short on something and you can't have it. It encourages you to steal it.
Yes.
It make you start plotting on all the ways you can get it.
Yes.
Since you and it's like, bro, I've been in that position where it's just like that's such an uncomfortable and nasty feeling that it's like I'm not gonna cultivate that where in areas that I can, especially for shit that's like a show.
Right,
It's
right,
like, bro,
right. I'm ready to sneak in this bitch.
Right, I'm ready to sneak and risk and do all this
Right.
extra shit. It's like, bro, we're not gonna.
Let me
do
just
all
meet
that.
you where you
Let
are.
me meet you where, because I don't want to cultivate that experience. You feel me? And yeah, bruh.
That's highly commendable, man. I just going along the timeline and knowing that you worked at a winery, right? And speaking of putting our conversation together earlier and what I watched you talk about working there, talking about Vallejo and not being able to work in Vallejo, but jobs that are near Vallejo, right? So people around the world, you can know that this is in close proximity of the world famous Napa Valley, right?
Right.
And E40 had a line, your fellow Vallejo rapper, he says, jobs like the oil refinery, I'd rather work at Napa at the winery. On his song Practice Looking Hard, coincidentally, he has wine now.
Right.
You know, but I heard you also say your experience with wine, you said wine was very dirty.
Yeah. It's a dirty. I mean, but of course it's dirty. Grapes are made outside in
Right,
the dirt.
right, in the dirt,
You
right,
feel me?
right.
So like I just like coming into like once you learn and you understand that,
Right.
and I had to. It took me a certain level of growth to realize like dirt ain't dirty.
Right.
Dirt is dirt.
Dirt is
Is
dirt.
of the earth. It's
Right.
not dirty.
Right.
You feel me? But as a young nigga coming up and you got to deal with this shit every day and
You
the
like,
smell
yeah,
and you
yeah.
see niggas pouring this fucking yeast and chemicals
Right.
and you have to do it's so much dirty work that goes into making a wine. It takes a lot of dirty work.
Yeah. So that's like you seeing it from a different level. You know, you seeing it from the inside, the production.
Right? It's just things that you don't comprehend or understand. Like all of us used to use a CD. None of us knew how the fuck a CD was made.
Right.
Right?
Right.
That changed. Like when I had to get vinyls produced and they like, oh, it's gonna take 16, 18-week lead time. I'm like, nigga, for what?
For what? What are you
feel me?
doing?
Like, you don't even understand the process. Some wine before you even get to drink it, it was years. Like the amount of time it took me to grow my career, it took
Right.
a nigga to establish a wine
A
blend.
wine. And there's only so much of that year or whatever, and that's it.
Right.
Yeah. And the grapes were great this year, and it was a
Oh man,
freeze
so
this year.
much goes into it.
Something that I because I'm gonna let you know right now, and any young up and coming rapper or any rapper I contact or we come in contact with, you are my example. I'm gonna just tell you that. Like,
Love it.
I use you, right? Because I am a strong believer in the 50-person fan base. Like, hey, you got 50 people 50 people that fuck with you, you can quit your job. You know what I'm saying? If they fuck with you, you can stop
Right.
working and just work on your career, right? And so,
Right.
but there's a process, and you give out game. But part of that process for you was contacting playlisters, contacting people that do editorials, like you took the initiative, right? So sometimes when we see people in a write up, or we see people, I saw your picture in a write up with the birthday hat on far before I knew what the fuck was even going on, right? That's a great picture, by the
Right.
way. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
No
why is
problem.
this grown man having so much fun?
Shout out B Gigs.
You know what I'm saying? And so, explain the process of how you start, because so many people, I don't have a manager, I don't have a publicist, I don't have this and that. Cold calling and or not cold call, DMing, like you have access. Explain how you started to do that.
Yeah, I used to really just go look up every platform that I wanted to be on or that used to represent the culture, I would go look up. I would scroll every like say I take a fucking hip hop a double XL or something. I would go through each article. I would look for the writer. I scroll all the way to the bottom, click their name, try to find their Twitter, Instagram, email, whatever. Send that message. Every time I seen a video on YouTube I love, like Vivo used to do these dope live sessions, I look up all of the credits. I'm going through and I'm looking up each one on Instagram. I'm messaging them. That's how I ended up doing the pilot for
Right.
Vivo's Lift series.
Right.
Like, I was the one who got to help launch that shit. My pilot got the approval.
Super
but
dope.
through me just cold messaging. Yeah, every company. If a show, I'm gonna find the booking email, whoever run everything, and I would just go message it. And some people reply, and of course, out of 1,000 messages, you'll get 20 replies.
Yeah.
But them 20 might change your life.
Yes, 20 can be powerful. I loved hearing you say this because it's something that I know. It's something that I know how people make playlists and make people your friends. So many rap executives and veterans, I don't know if it's intentional or they got lost in the sauce at one point, but they give out a lot of misinformation, right? They give out a lot of old school game, right? It's you got to do this, you got to know this DJ, and you don't dress right, and you don't do this, and you don't do it,
Bro.
and it's all bullshit.
It be, and I've I like learned early, like, if I can't be me, I'd rather not be, right? And I had a nigga who was like, was in LA and like, pull up on me. And I was like, oh yeah, for sure, where you at? And he like, oh, but put on some decent like that. And I was like, what do you mean? Like,
Right.
nigga, I'm coming I'm coming at whatever
Like
I'm
this,
wearing.
right.
Like, bro, I'm not, this is what the fuck I'm wearing.
Right.
That should never dictate my entry. Like, it was funny, one time we went to go get food and it's like, niggas like, oh, you gotta wear this. And I'm like, you gonna deny me food? Because of what I'm wearing, I'm finna pay the same amount of money these niggas paying. I'm actually gonna pay more because I tip well. You feel
Right,
me?
right,
But you
right.
gonna deny me food,
Right.
because of how I'm dressed? Food. Like, you don't want me to eat because I don't have on a button up. You niggas out your fucking mind.
Yeah, I'd rather keep my money. Yeah, and learn how to make that shit you make it. I think about this too. When you saying those things, when you say when we talk about style and we talk about how you dress, and I think some people early on, like, that have similar styles as you, because I believe in subgenres in rap. I categorize shit in my mind. This is how it works, right? So if I'm playlisting you with Cole. I'm playlisting you with Kendrick, right? But when I talk to rappers who say you need the rapper kit, I say the most successful guys don't have a kit though. So why do you need what are you aiming at? Like, let me know what the goal is. So it's like, so if that's your ceiling,
Right.
that guy over there who draped up and dripped out, that's him, right? But then you got this guy coming in. I remember Charlemagne saying Kendrick Lamar looked like a janitor.
Right. I had a nigga commented on Instagram and said this nigga always look like he need $40. And Sada Baby got a song where he say rich bum swag like LaRussell. And I love it. I
Right.
fuck with that because it's like, it's real.
It's real.
I don't get up and yeah, it's just real, bro.
Yeah.
Like, that's the last thing I think about when I get up.
Right.
I'm thinking about how I can I just bought a compound.
Right.
Like, I'm not even worried about that shit. I'm
Right.
thinking like, how can I get some more paper and how can I make some more impact?
And to be honest with you, I don't like when, like, how we get exposed to something as black people, right? And we say, rich white motherfuckers don't drive that. Rich white motherfuckers don't
They do, though.
put rims on their car.
Right.
Rich white motherfuckers, but they do though. But we watching LaRussell get rich, right? But that shit'll go right.
Right.
Like, I didn't even see that.
Right.
But I said, oh, like, I pulled up. This guy told me he works at Google or he works for Google. This guy tells me he has a job, right? No matter how much his salary is, he has a job and he can be fired.
Right.
Somebody just built something of their own that can't be fired and taking care of all their people, right?
Right.
What's more valuable to you? I don't see the value in the other shit. I feel like if a motherfucker can wake up and be as comfortable as they want every day and make paper, what are you asking for?
Right. And That's what people don't understand. Like, but this whole industry is built on the look. Like people even say, "Oh yeah, once you get a look." I've never been trying to get a look. I'm not worried about the look. I was doing some shows and shit, and I've been meeting with different like bookers and shit, and one of them was like, "Yo, do you want me to make the show look good?" And I was like, "What you mean by that?" Like I've never heard somebody tell me that. Right. And he started explaining, "Well, for the industry artists, this is usually what they ask for, so we'll do this, this, this." And I was like, "Oh." And I was like, "Nah, I'd rather it just be good, right? If I only sell 500 tickets, I don't need you to go make it look like I sold 8, and like, I'm not even worried about it. Like, I just want it to be good." But it gave me insight, like, oh, y'all niggas is really which I knew, because if y'all faking playlists and y'all faking views and streams because it's about a look, nigga, I found out I had a company running ads for me one time, and they were running them in a way that wasn't conducive to my actual growth, only the look, right? It made it look like I was there, like, well, this is why we do it, because then it's more. And I was like, but the people aren't becoming fans. Like, you're not conditioning them to be a fan. And they was like, well, this is what the labels usually request, so this is what we gave you, because I wasn't even clear that that was a thing. So as I grow, I'm finding out just more and more, like, these niggas really fake everything, but they do it strategically. Right. They fake it to the point that it becomes real. Right. I found out early they were buying like playlist editions because it was tricking the algorithm into thinking that everybody loved this song and was adding it to playlists. Right. So now, and then it eventually became naturally real catches on. Views. So like they're doing it in a strategic way because it's easy. They have the money to just pump it. But yeah, it wasn't. It don't be real. Everything be about the look. Right. Right. I always say we got to protect you by all means because you revolutionizing the game, and I think it's a tricky game. Like I think that it's almost like let's make him crazy, and then that way, you know, he's just a crazy dude over there. And the anomaly. Right? Yes, he's an anomaly. Something that I found interesting that everybody skipped over. I feel like your process. Come on. Right, and I feel like I went back in the middle of everything. I went back in the height to say, "Oh, LaRussell turned down this. LaRussell turned down." But I went back and I watched all of this while it was happening. But it meant something different. You starting Good Company, and the way you started those, I won't even call them freestyles. I'll say performances, right? Because that content lives forever. Like forever. And you somehow managed to get the best out of, because you didn't just use yourself, right? And I don't know if that was strategic, but sometimes you can have an artist and they can freestyle every day and it becomes overbearing until you get it, right? The way that I consume your music, the best that I like is live. I like it live. Like, so you'll have a song, but I like to go back and watch you perform it. It's totally different, right? I go back and I looked up live albums. Right. Marvin Gaye has an album live at the Oakland Coliseum. Jay-Z. They have all of these live. But this, my pops and my elders been listening to live records. Some of the biggest records. That's always been the thing. And so starting Good Company in those performances, was that strategic? Did you know that that was going to happen? Because I tell people all the time, if you have a song, you have to have a live performance version of that because people actually like those more. So was that strategic? Yes and no. Okay. I just enjoy, like, I did my first one and I was like, bro, this shit's so tight. Okay. I want to see everybody that I love. Okay. I really was like, bro, I love this song. Your same thing. Yeah. I like to hear it live. Right. I need to know you can really do that. So it was really just like, I want to hear all the songs I love live, right? And it's crazy because man, yeah, it just start forming. And as it start forming, of course, it becomes more strategy because it's like, oh, shit. But not even strategy. The strategy for me was just do it consistently. Find the shit that you enjoy. Adam gonna do it live and release it. Everybody wins from it. Everyone gets the exposure. Like, man, it was just a beautiful moment. And that's the thing. Like, I had to remind myself at one point, like, I don't have to do that. You feel me? Because I start feeling like I was getting behind. I'm like, damn, I'm not doing live set. But it's like I was always doing that out of my heart and my love, right? And there'll be a time where it returns, but I don't have to do it. And it was a beautiful moment for me because I start feeling like, damn, am I not, bro? And it's like everything that we do on this earth, but everything that we do as Good Company for any amount of time is a plus. Like we helped build so many artists' careers during that time. Like, bro,
many.
Man, we're very responsible for a lot of niggas that got some shine right now.
That's
got
a fact.
their moment. Like, we really provided that content that usually you have to wait on the industry to call you to get. And we were giving people just great shit and moments. We was doing albums, rollouts and shit for people. So it's just a beautiful time. It wasn't really strategic. I was just enjoying it. And COVID was like fresh. So it was like, we couldn't do shows, so that was our way of just being able to still cultivate and grow something we enjoyed. And all the homies just loved it. We just had a ball.
How do you add in, like, because the point I want to end with is, where I want to land on this particular subject I'm on is cost-efficient ways to run your business, right? And one of the ways that I peep that you get down is with your people. Right? For a lot of people, they feel like they can't get their people to believe, right? And I think partly the way you're able to do that is how much you believe, right? And I heard you say with your kid's mom, you know, both of you guys were up one night. If you do it, I'll do it. Like, it's like a dare. Like, let's quit this shit. That's like saying, it's like a Harriet Tubman moment. It's like, let's run, nigga.
Right.
Like, you ain't ready. Like, nigga, I'm ready. Let's run right now.
Right.
And y'all did it. Right? And so I call that breaking the chains of psychological slavery, right? We free.
Right.
Right? It has to be a relief, right? And then you put everything that you have towards your career, but how did you get other people to believe? Because I start seeing the additions. I say, wait, did this person got a fucking cello? Is this motherfucker got a keyboard? Wait, what's going on? Like, how is it? Like, how did that happen?
I mean, initially, right, it's that belief and that work. Like, I was always willing to do everything by myself. It's easier to help a nigga who's gonna do it anyway, right? Because it's like, well, he's already doing it, so I'm a assist. And it was just like real care. Like, everyone around me really fucked with what I was building or had common benefit and interest. You know, like all the early artists that helped build with me, like we were all artists, so we were all able to flourish. The homies, it's like, bro, we all enjoyed and loved the same shit, so it was easier. And then as you progress, you have to take weight off of people to get them to fully understand and commit. So if it's like, all right, bro, if I gotta pay you for this time or shoot you on gas or buy food, or if we just gotta come in so you could fully work here and I just cover shit for a bit, that's how it's gonna work, right? So providing that incentive, like, you have to constantly keep leveling up so it makes sense for people to work for you. Like Splash, I just brought Splash on, and it's like, bro, I just asked him, nigga, what are you waking there so you can do what you need to do? You feel me? And I think you just have to really incentivize people. But people already want to help you build. They just don't want to be in shambles by doing so. But you know, when it's something that's real and genuine, I think everybody just knows this shit is gonna pay off and it's gonna be worthwhile. Like, we have those conversations all the time. Shit be tough sometimes, right? Every month ain't pretty. Shit be really rough. But we all know that a couple ugly months is worth a beautiful life.
I'm just trying to stay racked up like you.
Put an 8 in a 1 and do magic. Tryna stretch hair run like elastic. Eco-friendly drug dealer, I don't waste no plastic. Use all 4 corners of that baggie. All I ever wanted was a bankroll. So I pull up on Champ before the bank close. Say no to stank hoes and stank clothes. No paramedic pimping, nigga,